Hello, my name is Karina Ehret, and today I'm going to be talking about myths, reality, and techniques in education. The myth that I wanted to focus on for this activity is multitasking. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some myths and some realities about multitasking. First, everyone can do it. That is a myth, that everybody can do it. Now, multitasking is doing a bunch of things at the same time. Actually, that is a reality. If you think you are great at multitasking, it's because you are. Actually, that is a myth. Not because you think you're great at something means that you actually are going to be. And finally, only some people can multitask. Actually, yes, that is a reality. Back in 2009, Clifford Nass from Standford University did a research on heavy multitaskers and light multitaskers. He thought that heavy multitaskers will be better at storing information. However, the experiment proved that multitasking doesn't help in the storing or retrieval processes. The reason I believe that is because multitasking is going from one task to the other, to the other, to the other, without actually paying attention to any of those. So, since you're not paying attention, you're not creating those cues that will help you later on to retrieve that information from your brain. So, multitasking in education. We as educators, we have to be aware that multitasking is there. Students think that they can multitask, but the brain doesn't work that way. Educators can use this perception and create a reality. How can we take multitasking? Easy. We can just move it around, switch it into distributed learning and interleaved practice. First, distributed learning. Definition, which is also known as a spacing effect, it is taking breaks between study sessions. What this means is that you can study, say, today for math, and then 3 days later you study math again, and then like a week later you study math again. The point is to leave some spaces in between where you don't touch the same topic so your brain can assimilate all of that information, and every time you pick it up on the next session you are creating new cues, which at the end will help you when you're trying to retrieve that information. This spacing effect helps memorizing new information, just like I explained, because of those cues. Distributed practice testing helps students in actual classrooms learn history facts. The reason I chose this quote is because I'm a social studies teacher, and I do believe that distributed practice can help you to learn history facts. Now, how can we relate multitasking to distributed learning? Well, Nass, the person who did the experiment back in 2009, actually suggested that it's better for us to spend 20 minutes in one task and then move on to the next one, and so on. So it's like serial tasking, which is what Taylor calls it, because we're moving from one to the other to the other. It's not like we're just staying in one. Now, one of those tasks that we can do is take a break or a simpler activity, which is going to bring me to my interleaved practice, which is a mixed up practice. Like I said before, so you study math one day and then you wait for like 2 3 days and study math again. Now for this one, say you study math one day, next day you're gonna study science, next day you're gonna study social studies. So you're mixing it up. You're not doing the same thing every day at the same time. Now this approach, like I said, involves blocking content from one topic and then move on to the next one. For it to be more effective, you have to mix older stuff with new material. An example for that could be social studies. Say you're going to have a test on George Washington presidency, but while you're reviewing that material, you want to review older stuff like the American Revolution, so you're creating new cues for that. Now, science suggests that interleaving is essentially about preparing the brain for the unexpected. How? Because you're switching from one to the other, and you don't have a real schedule about it. So by the time a test comes, your brain is already used to the unexpected. How is interleaved practice related to multitasking? Interleaved practice is the bigger and better picture of multitasking because we are switching, but we're not switching that fast. Now, when we switch that fast and when we're trying to multitask, we have these neurochemicals in our brains that help us focus. But from that switching and switching and switching, those neurochemicals get destroyed. Once they get destroyed, we can't focus anymore. Now, this constant and rapid change seems like stepping on the gas, then hit on the brakes. So it's like a car. You're gonna break it down. So the same thing is happening to our brains. So we gotta plan for those switching of tasks. Now, I believe that both learning techniques can be applied to override multitasking because we are transforming or evolving multitasking into interleaved practice and the spacing effect. Now, multitasking doesn't help learning. It's already been proved because it doesn't help you in the process of storaging memory. Now, teachers should be encouraged to use these techniques to avoid students using ineffective learning techniques like multitasking or cramming before a test. I believe as a social studies teachers that both techniques can help my students be successful in the classroom and as lifelong learners. Thank you.